everyone. It's a good old Friday, ain't it? Scooching up, getting ready for the game, which I'm playing tonight, which is Great Ace Attorney, and I'm super excited about it. I was feeling really crummy today, just kind of all throughout the day. I don't know, it was kind of bleh, and I was like, I wasn't fully here, but I'm here now, and I'm ready to play some Ace Attorney Chronicles and do some fun, stupid, probably terrible, horrible, embarrassing voices. Yeah, I think it's a good way to end the week. I think Great Ace Attorney is a good way to end the week, especially since I love Ace Attorney. I will always love Ace Attorney. It's time. It is the time of the Ace Attorney. And I think we had kind of met Herlock Sholmes finally. So I think we're really going to get into this case and really dig in and solve the mystery. I have a feeling it's going to be very long, though, because that first case was very, very long. Oh, hello, Cool Beans. Woo! Yes, get excited for it. Get excited for Ace Attorney. I'm going to pop those trigger and content warnings in there. Also, they're going to be showing up on the screen in just a hot second. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. There they are. Whee! So, blood and gore, visual and audio. It's a murder game. There's gun violence. There's animal death. There's death and suicide. Alcohol and substance abuse. I haven't really gotten to that yet. I don't know. This game feels a little more rough around the edges than the other Ace Attorney games. At least when, talk about the Phoenix Wright games. I think the investigations games were pretty rough around the edges too, because they were, God, the ending of the second one was much darker than I expected. But anyway, there's domestic violence, self-harm, snakes. Somewhere. I'm scared of those, but we'll see where that comes. Anxiety attacks, hospitals, bone breaking, hanging, suffocation, probably different types of deaths that we will see, or murders. Buried alive. Anti-Semitism, which is, I think, heavily implied, but not outright, but it's there, so be aware of it. Fat jokes, flashing lights, and shaky cam. That's mostly just due to it's an Ace Attorney game. And then I guess there's a claustrophobic scene. So, all of those things to be aware. If those are any of your triggers and you need to step away, please feel free to do so. This is supposed to be a fun experience, and if these take away your fun, well then, that's not good. That's bad. Without further ado, which I say every time, as if it's something special to say, let's get over to the game. I gotta turn my switch on. I want to hop just right on in. I'm using my doggy controller again, because my pro controller is actually dying. And I need that one for when I play. Come on, screen. Yeah, let's get with the program. I need it for when I play Ocarina of Time. Alright, so we're going to continue our adventure, which I do like also that the title screen changed. Is that a bone? There's a bone in the bottom right corner, I'm noticing. The screen changed based on this case. This wasn't the screen last time, but this is the one that we're on, so. Anywho, start playing from your latest save. Yes. The Adventures of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Kazuma's Cabin. Yep. Okay, here we go. Here we go, let's solve a mystery. Okay, it's been a minute, so please forgive me if I change the voices, because I probably forgot what I did. I'm gonna get a drink of my sparkling water. Lube it up for voice acting. I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. Oh, that's right. She thinks we murdered our friend. But we didn't. We were locked in a closet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susanna-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Alright, so she says we're sus. We're sus. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I'll avenge you! I will avenge your death! Yes! I can't believe he's dead. Move, present, examine. Let's just examine. Oh, he's in here. This is the Russian guy, right? Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it's not true, I see. Sorry? A criminal asking investigator for information about his crime. Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Niet, of course not. Now back to corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there. He seemed a little flustered. Ooh, he's sus! Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susada-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? No, I haven't done anything! It's already giving me a tutorial. It's like, Jesus, this person does not know how to play Ace Attorney. I'm sure you're more careful to look all around using the directional buttons, aren't you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Yay. I just wanted to look, though. So what does this say? Nope, that's not what I... Oh, okay, close enough. It got the hitbox. Investigate the fuck out of this place. Yeah! Yeah, son, we investigating the fuck out of this place. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Burya. The SS Burya? The SS Booyah! It's essentially... Oh, sorry. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or pet? She's so freaking cute. I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Yay, I'm glad they kept the checkmark situation. Okay, so the reticle, if it's just like moving, it's just blue. If there's something you can click on, it blinks, and when you've already investigated it, it checks it off. That's helpful. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mowed down at once. Or the ship tilted. I wonder if perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, don't you think? Wait, isn't he had his sword, but he's not supposed to have weapons, right? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? He stayed strapped, Your Honor. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. No, don't touch it. No, that's tampering with the crime scene. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me.
Memories? What do you mean?
I was inside it, was I not? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case, yeah. We do a little tampering. Just a light tampering. Just like a little sprinkle of tampering.
Oh yes, I see it says this way up in Japanese.
Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here.
Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds.
Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. There's some spilled ink on the floor. Oh, nope. I clicked on... Just gotta... Really? Do I have to... I guess it counts it as this. Did Kazuma write this before before he died? It looks like it's written in ink.
He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. And I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger into the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it.
I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing because it's in Russian.
I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san.
You don't? You, a person who speaks Japanese, can't tell if that's Japanese. A very distinct form of writing. What? Then what language is it?
It pains me to admit it, but I don't know.
It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. They do canonically speak English in the ports. Yeah, but they're not in the ports yet. Are they? Because they're still at sea. They're on the ship. They're still like a week or so out from Europe, right? There's a scuff on the ground. Is that a bell? Oh. Best see the ports of the game, not the sea. Okay. Listen! In my defense! It's confusing! But they talk about speaking Japanese. They literally talked about speaking Japanese in the other chapter. They're both valid, okay? What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two.
The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke.
Oh my god. Netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he?
And the mark beside it, what is it, I wonder? It has sort of a brick-like hue.
Yes, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Bunch of stuff got knocked over. Nope. Missed it. Let's go back this way.
That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it.
Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul.
I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip.
I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. See, what is this bone? I'm very curious about it. That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty. Ooh, that sounds good.
Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here?
I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. I ate on the floor. I ate my dinner on the floor. I don't like to sit at the table, especially since the couch is comfortable, but I don't want to get the couch dirty, so I sit on the floor in front of the couch. Apparently, I'm a dog. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor.
But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he?
No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Ever since school started up again, I just eat at my desk. Hey, it's convenient. Desks are good eating surfaces, too. I mean... It's kind of like a table.
Oh no, does that mean... Poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible.
Ugh, now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. It's a little sad that he didn't even get a last meal.
There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery all over the floor for some reason.
Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute.
What is it?
That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. Uh-oh.
So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama.
No, no, no! What is this banner? Seigi. Seiji? Seigi. Seigi. I'm so terrible at pronunciation. Seigi, I think, is how you pronounce it. The Japanese word for justice. The brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma.
Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully?
Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to?
Even though you stowed away on the ship?
Oh, got you there. Now you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win. Is this picture something? I guess not. There's a knife. Can I look at the trunk again? I'll look at the desk.
This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing.
London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination.
It looks as though the last entry is incomplete.
Which means, what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hi!
That's out of the question.
What?
Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts.
But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? All right, I won't read it.
Poor Kazuma-sama.
I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be super relevant. She needs to get her little teenager, "Don't read my diary," out of the way. It's a nice chair. This is the wardrobe I was hiding in.
It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san?
I think living isn't quite the right description.
Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout.
The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception.
But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin.
No, sadly not. And now my best friend is dead, which is really, really dark. There's a vent. I was staring at it the last time.
I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin.
Isn't that a little odd?
What do you mean?
Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin.
Yes, it would appear to. You're right.
But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside.
That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough or something like that.
I suppose. Maybe that's it. What the fuck? Why is he suddenly here? Excuse me, sir? How did you were not there a second ago. Sir? Sir, are you okay? Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh my god. Oh, how did he... You've noticed the man too, have you? I've no idea who he is or how he got here, but he looks suspicious and tall. Suspiciously tall!
Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is?
Yeah, Naruhodo-san, have you not seen the Twitters? Have you not seen the Facebooks and the Pinterests and the Tumblrs and the... well, no, I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And he is investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. This whole man is like upside down on this desk.
Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him.
Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably... Does she have a crush on him?
By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them.
Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself.
Oh, please do.
Yeah. Hey, sir. Yep. What's happening? You good? You good, fam? It looked like it has a... I'm shocked that desk has not broken under his weight. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation.
Amazing. I think he might be my new favorite character. I've yet to really speak with him, but we'll see. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly.
Yes, perhaps that would be for the best.
He's gone. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Nice goggles, man.
Ah, I see. Fascinating.
Sorry? What do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me.
Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You
have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What?
And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament.
Oh, well, that's true at least.
But how?
How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining.
Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else?
But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being, as you are, a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. He's making 0 sense. This man is high. And when the barabond occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill.
So it's true. You are totally batshit crazy. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama.
What?
And you're plotting a revolution too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked.
No, listen, there's no way I... Hiya! She's a tough little cookie.
Now explain Explain yourself. Tell me everything.
This is ridiculous. And I'm upside down again.
How could you do it?
For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, honestly. Or obviously.
Oh, forgive me.
And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that? Well, to be honest, the ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with brassy certitude, and more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Holmes! Amazing.
So it really is you. The actual Sherlock Holmes. The actual copyright-free Sherlock Holmes.
The very same. The inimitable, actual Sherlock Holmes. Do you know this man, Susana-san?
The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him.
What planet have I been living on, then?
We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure.
Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Because he called you a Russian revolutionary. I would like to actually continue examining the room first, if possible, because there was a few clues that I hadn't yet,
This is... yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think.
What do you mean, contraption?
I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants.
Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try?
Yes, in the interest of cultural research, obviously.
Aw, that nice little bell.
I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people.
Oh. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all. I can't really investigate the bed. I think that's pretty much everything. So, it's time to talk to Mr. Sholmes here. Great detective. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Sherlock, was it? No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Holmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh yes, Rand's magazine full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially.
Ah yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in a magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson. Dr. Watson! Wait, did Dr. Wilson die? Isn't Dr. Wilson the dead man from the last case? Wait a minute. Ooh, we gonna have to break some news to him. Dr. Wilson? Oh, yeah. Also, wow, Watson, Wilson. I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. I want to do that pose. That is, like, so dramatic. Why, this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form.
A science?
Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin, all these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth! He is gonna be so fucking fun to voice, as I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look at me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction, and fame! That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Wait, is he actually German? Is that like the joke? I like his little bow. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow! Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him.
When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open.
And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Holmes was on board. And the handcuffs seemed to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Ugh. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really? Two facts, you say? What were those? Mr. Holmes, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. That is not correct. Hold on, Mr. Holmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. I cannot read that. I'm going to look it up. Hold on. Russian to English translation. Google, please help me. Okay, wardrobe. What is it? Is that really the same? Yes, that is those are the same characters. Garderobe. God damn it. Garderobe. 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 Wardrobe. It's a wardrobe. That is the Russian word. Maybe if that is the Russian word for wardrobe.
Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian?
No. In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Gudurub maybe the name of the killer. A certain Robert Guard, perhaps. But in the interests of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least.
Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly.
Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit's the traditional dress of the Russian people. Seems a little racist. Not racist, but xenophobic? I don't know.
Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea.
And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim in the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. I can't speak. Kazuma. Poor boy. Why are you dead? No, that headband is no longer flowing in the wind. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. That sucks. That really sucks.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes, thank you. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all of that? Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Is that also Russian? Oh my gosh, my headset cut out. Why? You were doing so well, fam. Ugh, damn it. Well, at least it didn't cut out for y'all. Where'd it go? I can't hear it. There it goes. Okay. Anyway, back to it. I don't know what that... Is that Cyrillic? Because it looks Greek to me. It seems Greek to me. But I feel bad if it isn't. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times... I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. It has to be Russian. Okay, your deduction just now. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Villain Bolshevik. Which is like Bolshevik. Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call in Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian?
It sounds like Mr. Schultz has concluded he was rushing because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor.
It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who had killed the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik. No, 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 how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man, just look at his face! Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Ugh, please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower?
Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder?
And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. That's right, he probably doesn't know where Afghanistan is. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. Cool. I will be your trash can, buddy. Clues for me. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Alright, so what was he just investigating? Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma. Oh yes, the victim.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all?
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. Oh, sorry. I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset. I keep forgetting that. It keeps. Anyway, it could upset people. Tragic, and something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what Susato takedown is. Of course, she's not going to do it to him. Susato said, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruto-san. What on earth do you mean?
Life is so unfair. Oh! Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely, this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentences is complete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering! Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, which I can read precisely none. So what was all of that showing off about before then?
If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Schultz.
I'm much obliged, my dear madam.
The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on.
The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? A speckled band. Whistling. Is there a fucking snake on board? Is there literally just a snake, a venomous snake on board? Oh my god, is it just a fucking snake? Is the fucking killer a snake? And then somebody tried to frame them? Because there's no pets allowed on board, but somebody has a pet snake. And a pet snake would not be allowed, so they had to try to... Oh my god! So this was probably an accident. This was probably just an accident, sort of. And somebody turned it into a locked room murder. And nobody escaped because they were looking for a person instead of a snake. It's a snake! It's a snake, right? It's a snake. If there is a fucking snake that shows up, I'm calling it now. If there's a snake that shows up, I'm gonna lose my mind. This is the snake! This is the snake I was worried about. It's a snake. It's a fucking snake. And if I'm wrong, well, then I'm wrong. It wouldn't be the first time, but it's a snake. 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 The ventilator grill, you say. The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered into the court record. Cool. It's a snake. It's just a fucking snake. Oh my good god. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least.
Do you have somewhere to go?
As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold.
Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to.
Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No. There's no point trying to turn it into that into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. Sir, you must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you're clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. This is gaslighting.
Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that to...
Thank you! Thank you, Susato. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal now. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know, not really. So what, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. This man is awesome. He's got himbo energy. He's got himbo energy. I wouldn't say he's necessarily a himbo, but he's got himbo energy. And by that I mean, he's just a bit dumb, but in the best way. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. He's probably high on opium, right? That was Sherlock, right? And instead of Herlock. And off he goes, having slapped in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name.
Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for?
Hmm?
We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... Oh my god, is she just fucking karate is she gonna...
After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just gonna roll over and accept your fate?
As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door.
Good idea.
The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice, which is a snake. I'm gonna look at the court record. So... Speckled band. Ooh. Her crown! Her tiara is so pretty! This is interesting.
Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting.
I can't find a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She's very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. It pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night, a renowned prima ballerina of the Novavich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Wait, is that a real name? That's a real name, isn't it? Why are Russian names so hard to remember? That's not hard to remember. Neither is Naruhodo. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, that's pretty easy to remember. Probably about as hard as Nikolina Pavlova. It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money.
How much is 20,000 rubles compared to yen? Rubles to yen conversion. Oh my god, 20,000 was like one of the... so 1 ruble is worth 1.49 Japanese yen, so... 20,000 rubles is almost 30,000 yen. Almost. 29,700. 29,700. Give or take. Damn. It's a lot of money. That's a heavy crown. It's a tiara. It's not a crown. Get it right. Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. How romantic. The tiara is the property of the Novavich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. About the girl, right? Not the tiara. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain.
Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
It does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo.
That's, yeah, a little, And then this guy.
I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian.
No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Yes, you told us that before. It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale.
Oh my goodness, he is fearsome.
Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he only needs shave it off.
I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. But good try. Maybe Kazuma's diary. Oh, nope, that's just the... Anything sticking out from the magnifying glass? Oh, this is so sad. I can't believe Kazuma's dead. This makes me so upset. Keep out. Oh, there's tape. Or what is that? I don't know.
These must be the remnants of the glue you used to stick the paper seal on the wardrobe.
That's right. It was pulverized rice.
Pulverized rice?
Yes, I pulverized some of the rice from my evening meal, even though it broke my heart.
Broke your heart? What do you mean?
Remember, I'm a stowaway on this ship. All I had to eat were Kazuma's leftovers. Even a couple grains of rice could have meant the difference between life and death.
Oh my, it must have been awful for you, Naruhodo-san. But I have some glue with me as it happens. You're welcome to use it this evening.
Oh, thank you very much. Cool, I can use it for the wardrobe that I have to probably go back in while they imprison me on this ship.
You drew the characters for this paper seal, didn't you, Naruhodo-san? They're such bold, vivid strokes you made.
You're looking at a man who came aboard inside a trunk. Those brushstrokes needed to make a statement. If they'd found me in that wardrobe, those Russians would have hurled me into the freezing cold ocean.
I'm sure none of the crewmen would have done anything like that.
Well, I'm not so sure.
They would have forced you to wash dishes in the galley until you were on death's door or something like that.
That's worse, almost. I hate washing dishes. Wash dishes until I was on death's door. That's a lot of dishes. Could they even use that many dishes in the time that they've been at sea? No, I don't want to move. Oh, thanks to this so-called detective, I'm even more stuck inside this cabin than I was before. For the time being, I suppose I'll just have to focus my efforts on investigating in here. Alright, maybe I can talk to Russian guy again. Excuse me. What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigated a little outside? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it is not true, I see. Okay, so... The criminal asking prison guard to help him escape. Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Niet! You stay in this cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay! Alright. There's no point trying to appeal to this man's better nature, that's for sure. Well, I guess I'll look at the door. Since the door that I can't get out of.
When I went for help and the crewmen forced the door open,
The lock broke.
this bolt had been firmly closed.
It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure, unless you were a snake! It's a snake! I swear to God it's a snake! It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from the outside of the room in a situation like this.
Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid.
That was a mean look that she just gave. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Oh. Oh, look over there.
The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he?
That's what I thought.
Why don't we try talking to him?
Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. but I suppose I could try. Hello, sir. Is that?
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir.
I'm gonna just go ahead and give him a Russian accent because I'm assuming that this is another Russian crewman. And I'm also going a step further to assume that it's the assassin. No, wait! Wait a minute. Is that fucking Hosonaga? Is that fucking Hosonaga from the last case? That pose. That sullen face. That probably is spreading tuberculosis all over this ship. Oh god, what? Oh no, I get like a really... Actually, I went back and watched my VOD, and apparently I started giving him like a really high-pitched, like weak little voice, but then I transitioned when I realized he was sick into like a sick voice, but... Alright, I'm just gonna preemptively take a sip of my sparkling water and prepare myself for the torture that I'm about to inflict on my voice. Yes, what can I do for you? You bastard! You fucking bastard! You fucking bastard! What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Sir, why are you not still in Japan? I recognize that face, but it can't be. Yeah. Sir. What are you doing here? You are going to make the entire world fucking sick. This man has consumption, and he's just on a ship. This whole ship probably needs to be quarantined now. What the fuck?
I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Your heart stopped? What? Maybe a good idea. Maybe it might be a good time to go to the doctor. Maybe? Just a little bit. Get some medical attention. Just a thought.
Daily stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew aboard the ship. Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. You know what? You and me both, buddy. Me either. Me either. Not the man I thought would make another cameo. What the fuck? But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Please go to the doctor. Sir. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
Classified? I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? Did you murder him? My orders were to act as Asoge-san's bodyguard. You fucked up, man! You fucked up! Now he's dead! It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asoge-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? Assassinated. Assassinated. Via snake. Via snake. Assassinated? How could that have even been a possibility? I'm not sure, But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku and we should be prepared for all eventualities. Said we should. I'm sorry, I misread that. This is incredible.
I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
I really thought that I'd be done with this voice, but... See, that's why I chose it, because it makes me cough like him. Unfortunately, it hurts a little bit. Lots of my friends are online. I keep seeing the little online things pop up. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board from morning until night every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. Can you get us permission to investigate? We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer. Of course not.
We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. So we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. I've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety, but you, just fucking plaguing up the joint, have not been deemed a risk? Like, everywhere you go, my man. The air you breathe is a hazard to everyone. If you moved even to touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I have to. But I don't see how...
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It's just the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use.
So evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I might know what we can use. Kazuma's diary, right? I'm gonna go with the diary. Because it talks about... What's that? It's Kazuma's diary.
Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way?
He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. All right, then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san.
So we're moving to the next cabin. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Thank you, Hosonaga. Here we go! We're going into the next room! January 9th, 7:48 a.m. Whew, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be, and this is the most luxurious accommodation.
Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on his study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage.
They put her in steerage? They put this poor little girl in steerage? I'm gonna fucking fight somebody. Really? That must be awful. Oh, I like him. I don't know who homeboy in the corner is, but he's funny. I like him. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he's sitting down.
The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't.
I suppose, like people in handcuffs.
Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already.
Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe.
It must have been a very trying time for you.
Please don't give me that pitying look. She's so cute and sweet. I love her. A map of the ship. This looks like a plan of the SS Burya. It shows each deck. Look.
The Burya is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering.
Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Well, it's funny you ask, because actually it's a good... And my fucking sound went out. God damn it. I'm sorry that I keep having issues, y'all. I think there's a loose wire in my headset, which is really sad. Got it. Okay.
Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san.
It is?
Well, consider the Japanese archipelago.
The islands of Japan? I love the word archipelago. This is totally a side note, but the word archipelago is just... The way it just like rolls off your tongue. It's so fun. Archipelago. I sound so dumb when I say shit like that. Anyway,
yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth. Many, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea ever since the gods created them.
well, I suppose so. What is this? Looks like a manifest. That's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it.
Yes, that looks like the ship's log.
Shall we have a look through it?
The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded.
You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment.
I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank.
Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Somebody died on board. Somebody died on board. There's an alarm. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it.
Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing. Oh, sorry.
It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
Oh, this I have to see.
What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it!
But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs.
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation.
Huh. I wish everything would just stop. The ship included. Bruh! That's relatable.
If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else.
Such a true statement, and yet it bit me so hard in the face. Damn, that cut right to my core. Anyway, what's this? Is it a rat trap? Oh.
A trap for catching mice.
Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Is it cheese? It's gotta be cheese. Yeah!
Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it's called. Cheese. It's made from the milk of cows.
Did they not have cheese back then? Surely they had cheese. Did they really not have cheese? I mean, they definitely have cheese now. Everywhere has cheese now. Cheese is great. But they had cows. They had goats. Did they not have their own cheese? Surely they had cheese. This can't be. Really? No, I'm just gonna say that. No. They had to have had cheese. They had cheese. I refuse to believe that they didn't have cheese. They had to have had cheese. Surely they had cheese. Cheese, I wonder, I've said cheese so many times. I wonder what that tastes like.
You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers.
Really? But, I suppose you're right. Haha, you're the mouse. Who's the mouse now?
You weren't actually going to try it, were you?
All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe.
Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later.
Alright, well, this is the door I came out of, right? First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin.
Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's.
Sorry?
Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin.
You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home.
These cabins are the finest on the ship.
Why is my headset suddenly going out? It was doing so well for so long. This is making me upset. Come on, OBS. Kick back on. Good God.
My own cabin in steerage is number 539, by the way.
500 and... How many cabins are there? A lot. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Uh-oh. He angry. He's got lovely eyelashes, though. Oh, oh my gosh! His little... It looks like a little lobster! His what do you call that? Ribbon? Scarf? Tie? Necktie? Whatever it is. It looks like a lobster! Excuse me, we, need to get inside this cabin here? He mad. That shirt doesn't even fit him.
This sailor's eyes speak volumes. Oh my gosh. This sailor's eyes speak volumes. They're clearly saying keep out.
That's what I wrote on the sign we put over the wardrobe doors. Although this man's version is definitely more effective.
It doesn't look like he's going to let us pass.
That's a problem. Maybe if we talk to him? Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer! That wasn't a good start, was it?
All right, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you?
You little third-class lady's maid.
Oh.
We seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Susanoo-san. I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman Beef Stroganoff. They named this man Beef Stroganoff. They named this man Beef Stroganoff. Yep. They sure did. God, I love Ace Attorney. Whew, the best thing is to just avoid eye contact, I think. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area. Here we are in finest part of Burdash steamship for very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. That is why I am always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Stroganoff is not animal. Thank you.
If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied?
Da? Yeah, da? I don't know what that is. Susanoo-san, did you understand that? Da. Okay, cool. I guessed sort of right.
It sounded like duh. I think it's probably Russian for yes or no.
It's yes. Niet is no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least.
Yes, it's tantalizing.
Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. Grimsby? Grimsby Roylott. Grimes. I'm trying to figure out if it's a pun. I'm just saying it a couple times and hear it, so I can figure out if it's a pun. Whatever. He is very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh. Damn.
Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard?
That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there.
Well, presumably since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins. He must be rather important, is that right?
That is not your business. Pretty sure it is my business, since I'm being accused of murder. Are you on watch here all the time, Steven Stroganoff? Da, all time. So criminals like you cannot come in or get out.
I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all?
It is said about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Is that niet? Susanoo-san, did you understand that?
It was clearly a no.
So it wasn't yet. I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way? Oh, he looked to the side. He looked to the side. He's suspicious. I said no. Sorry. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. Or he looked to the side. He looked askance. He's flying by the seat of his pants. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh, it is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, all right. Bulkhead to second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain, or as the English say, when the pigs fly. Yes, I understand.
Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we?
Definitely. To the cabin! Or not. I guess not. Examine? Into the door, please. This is the cabin next to ours, the one the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator for which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Knock, knock.
Hello? No answer.
They're dead too! There's been a double murder!
We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries.
How annoying. Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin.
Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman.
Stand aside! Oh my god, where did you fucking come from? I'm about to break the door down.
Mr. Sholmes!
I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges.
Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted.
It doesn't. Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What, pray, can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Sholmes has Aries energy. Sholmes definitely has Aries energy. Does he have a canonical birthday? Oh. Who are you? Oh, this is a Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. Oh, yeah, this is the assassin. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Get out, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimesby Roylott. Grimesby Roylott. Is it an anagram? It's gotta be something. Yes, that's me, and you are. I am the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I'm a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit us in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me.
Oh my! Did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, the case just shook. It is shooketh. Leave now, otherwise I'll call this steward. So this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimesby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something.
I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns.
Well, let's look around. Is that motherfucker in the wardrobe now? Is he in the wardrobe now? What do you think you're doing? Ah! This is my cabin. Get out!
Could we just have a quick look inside your traveling case, perhaps?
No!
Ah, what a pity. I think we're out of luck.
I think you're right.
There doesn't appear to be anything more we can do.
I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roylott. Sir, what are you doing in the wardrobe? Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course.
Resting?
Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into service.
Oh.
And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on, for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why, the truth, of course! Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Yes?
Oh, yes, please.
Well then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. I love him. I would die for him. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? Well, it is pretty stereotypical. What? From time to time it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone.
That's right, and Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, "It is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment."
Shh! I must have complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all of the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn, you are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not?
Oh, Naruhodo-san, I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes.
That was a great deduction? Nothing can deceive
Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person.
What? What ineffable twaddle?
Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true.
I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How could you? How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well, then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. Let's. Ooh, the great deduction. The game is afoot. Ooh. Topic 1, old man's identity. It's like fully animated and everything. Holy shit. So the dubious looking Russian Mr. Roylott, obviously. What catches the eye in the first place? Is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Oh wait, there's something in his pocket. Now we ask ourselves, what could possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard, you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begged in this, why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular, the fascinating front page article. It just occurred to me. The beard and the... It's not the assassin. It's the princess. It's the ballerina. She has a beard to disguise herself as the assassin, but she's actually the ballerina. And then somehow a snake plays into this. I feel as crazy as Holmes right now. Sholmes, sorry. Gotta keep it copyright friendly. It's gotta be the ballerina. I've played too many Ace Attorney games to know that it's gotta be the ballerina, right? Okay, which would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. I love the little hand flourish. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. No, incorrect, but okay. Topic 2, wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And she stole the tiara. That's her crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh, yes, Miss Roylott. Mr. Roylott. Miss. I said miss. Oh, my gosh. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah, oh no, my music, really? At this critical juncture? Really? Come on, don't do this to me, OBS. Don't. There we go. Ah! And I assure you, your eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. It It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein. No, she doesn't need to fit in there because she's right in front of us. She's wearing a beard as a disguise. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady of the traveling case? Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? We are not well. Oh, sorry. Your careless coup. Oh shit, coup d'oil? Do it? Coup d'oil? Oh my god. I've actually never seen that before. I almost said coup d'etat, but coup d'etat is not even relevant in this part. Coup d'oil. Fuck. I'm gonna look it up. I want to know. Hold on. How do you? Kudai. Your kudai. Your careless kudai betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. For there is another, most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina Novovich Ballet of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. No. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma. Elementsky! Susato-san. That wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it?
Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow.
Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall our discussion earlier, and at the time I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance.
In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look more like this man than you do.
That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child in that case, even if you pushed really hard. That's a little scary to think about.
I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she?
You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I?
Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out from the case.
Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case, and my fucking audio is out again. Ugh. Tech issues be damned.
Oh dear.
Oh, sorry, why did I give her a British accent?
Oh dear. You might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes.
Ugh, this whole thing is turning into a circus.
Mr. Naruhodo, something's me about Mr. Sholm's deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seem a little off.
Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Miss Susato.
It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Switch some keywords in his deductions.
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholm's great deduction.
Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? He took the handcuffs off.
Where are your handcuffs?
Huh? How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel.
And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Okay, so we're just switching some keywords. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Okay. So the jury's looking... Okay, I think that's correct. Staring us in the face. No. Boom, that's it. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard?
I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though. This fucking audio is going to drive me up a wall.
It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Voilat either.
Which means I suppose that the deduction is wrong.
Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters.
Alright, but how?
I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Voilat.
I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on.
Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better,
Then what?
then I'll leave the rest to your capable hands, Naruhodo-san.
Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we can even use to switch around that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roilight really going to use those enormous shears for? Copious beard, thick hat. Golden locks. I was right! It's the girl! What's this?
It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks.
No, the color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roilat's head? And how is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair?
Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly...
And we heard a woman scream. It's the girl.
It's so stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising.
Something's definitely not right here. Yeah, and I don't really see anything else. This is kind of cool to just, like, analyze a character. Anyway, it's the girl.
Yes!
Ah! I'm sorry. Hold on. Did he just, like, Oh my god, I love this so much. Yes, that makes me so happy. Oh my god. I can't really explain why. It's just fun. Wow, he really did the full he just committed. He spun and the point. Finger guns, baby. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. Oh no. If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the... Nope. It's the article about the ballerina. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea that old man was really a young woman in disguise, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that?
Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san.
She fucking knew! She fucking knew! And she didn't say anything. She totally knew, and she didn't say a damn thing.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Sorry?
You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing the facts with Mr. Schultz.
I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business.
Yes, I understand. Say no more.
Well, anyway, let's focus on the next part of Mr. Sholm's deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now.
No, that's true, given that Mr. Warlad is actually a woman.
Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. I mean, she could be. She could be a killer. We don't know. From pillar to killer, right?
I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now.
Yes.
Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them.
For some reason, this woman needed to try and hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Like a ballerina, perhaps. Like a ballerina who might be on the run. Yes! Yes! The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear that we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovich Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Ah! Oh. Fluffy hat. Her earrings! Oh my god! Why does she have a hook in her? Is that just her hair? You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. She looks so cute. Aww. Well, she couldn't have kidnapped herself. Now, as far as my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies there, in where the furtive glance falls. It's the tiara. She's trying to steal the tiara. The proof of your sits before our very eyes. Yes, the traveling case. This woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well.
No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all.
In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? Ha! I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again.
You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Schultz?
Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. What is this? The tiara! Yes! There it is, right there. That's literally what I said. Tiara. The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers of the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in the newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully, taking their precious tiara with you. Girl, your earrings though, they're so pretty. I have no one, no family, no friends. I'm all alone and I need the money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia? It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Alright, I will tell you everything. There is no point in hiding it now. Come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You staunchly refuse to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. God, I can't read. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case even before I've ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil, whatever. Betrays me. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the books on a shelf. Nope. He's completely changed tack with his deduction now.
I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you?
Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? It's just a wild guess, surely.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her.
Yes, that's true, but still, Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself.
Then there has to be another reason why she won't open her case, and it must be somewhere in the same area if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn.
I agree, that's the only answer.
Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookshelf. Small picture. It's the rules of passage. She has a snake in the case, and it's...
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabin. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
There was exactly the same notice in our cabin, too. I wonder what happens if you break the rules.
Oh dear, I'm sure the punishment would be severe, Naruhodo-san. We'd probably be left adrift in the freezing cold ocean, or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end.
So I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I? Yeah, it's these. Yes! Because she has a pet. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
In
Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move on its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova, inside your traveling case. Is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage. A pet. This dancing around is so cute, and I love it. Possession of a prohibited animal. Solved! We did it! Deduction complete. Elementary. I love it! This is so fun! So clearly you aren't who you said you were.
No, I am not Grimesby-Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. Oh no, no.
I think my headset is really starting to give out. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stowed aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. The Burya is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. That's a little sexist, but also, in my case personally, it is true. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So if it was just you, about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That veritable tinkling of a bell. Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. Oh my god, it is like really... I like move slightly and it just cannot handle it. So irritating. More like full set of pipes if you ask me.
I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself so no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man. I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and...
At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door.
Things happen like that sometimes, don't they?
Things do indeed happen like that from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing?
There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside that traveling case?
You were right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. I feel really bad for this girl.
Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew.
Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us in as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night.
Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something, Mr. Sholm's great deduction?
It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrists. Oh no, he's got the shackles back on. Ah, damn it.
Your hands are cuffed again.
What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. Ugh. When and why?
There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment.
And I think this is a good place to save and end our adventure for the time being. I think we've made some good progress. I think this is a good stopping point before we reach the second act, and Miss Pavlova tells us all about her adventure stowing away on the ship. So I'm going to end it for tonight. Also, I think I'm going to give my headset a rest since it's clearly trying to back out of its duties of doing sound. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good time, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to be having a girls' night with one of my best friends ever, so I'm super excited. And I'm also going to try to get some cleaning done in this apartment because it's a mess. But I will see you guys next week, so keep your eyes on my Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and all the social medias, which you can follow me. They're scrolling down at the bottom. I am Breezelbit on literally everything, so you can just find me by searching that. And also, if you've stopped in and you're new here and you like what you see, give me a follow here on Twitch. You'll get notified every single time I go live, which is Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got some good stuff cooking up in the old noggin of mine and in the works. And I just got a new job, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping that it all works out well, and I should be getting maybe just a tiny bit more liquid so I can maybe do another giveaway in the near future. I really liked doing that giveaway. It was really fun to like give back, so I want to do it again. But yeah, keep your eye on all my socials. You will see my schedule posted on Twitter, and you'll know when I'm streaming for the week. I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening or day, depending on what time zone you're in. Time zones are weird. You know what? I'm going to start saying this again because I used to say it all the time when I first started streaming, and I need to get back into it because it's important. Hydrate yourselves. I just hit myself with my... Anyway, hydrate yourselves because that's important, and get some rest because you deserve it. Okay, peace out, guys.